Oh, what's up, dude? Welcome to episode 13 of the Toe to Toe Fight Show with Matt and Mark Nolan. What's up?
What's up?
What's going on?
Well, we had a busy weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I feel like I am. How does jet lag work? Does that work?
Different time zones, Matt.
Yeah, you were in the same time zone.
So no jet lag?
One of our flights was 27 minutes.
It was the longest 27 minutes of my life. I just slept totally upright because I didn't recline my seat, even though I had Comfort Plus on the way there. Oh, can we please, Rob? Does Rob know?
He might know. Rob, you might know this. So, anyway.
Toe-to-toe dumb show.
Toe-to-toe fight show became the toe-to-toe road show.
I did hear about this.
Yeah, so we had...
can't wait to hear again.
So we had press passes for the Ryan Mayer fight at Madison Square Garden. I was going with MGM, like stuck. So Madison Square Garden, so MSG. And we're like, you know what? Let's take the train in South Station to Penn Station. It's 4 hours. We'll be able to get some work done. I book it because I book everything because Matt is fucking useless. And then, so we get to South Station, get on the train, cart number 3, 4A and 4C.
We're in business class, so we have our table and everything.
And these two French chicks are like, oh, excuse me, I believe you are in our seats. And Matt's like, nope, these are our seats.
I was very polite about it. I was like, I don't think so. I think we're 4A and 4D. I was like,
4C.
Haven't the French got enough shit this
Yeah, and they're like, well, ours say 4A and 4C as well. And I go, huh, October.
I hear Mark say to himself, October 5th. And I go, October 5th?
And I go, Matt, we should get off. Because I booked him a week apart, but the wrong week.
So Mark was sleuthing like the best deals. The train was way cheaper when you booked the wrong date. So I was like, all right, you dumbass, I'll fucking book it. So we jumped into an Uber and just jumped on a plane.
Yeah, JetBlue.
So, and we were there in like 20 minutes, so it was way better. So yeah, that's how our day started. And then we got to the fights. So we're going right to the fights. What do you want to talk about? UFC Paris.
Yeah,
Not
UFC
in Paris.
Yeah, that's like American Werewolf in London, dude.
In Paris. It's just UFC Paris. Yeah, so it was very French heavy. The main event was a banger. There's a lot to unpack for what was on paper a throwaway fight night.
So UFC Paris was the name of it. That was the name.
Oh, okay. UFC in Paris?
No, UFC Paris.
Okay,
the UFC was in Paris. The name of the event was UFC Paris.
Yeah, go on.
So there's so much to unpack. Can we start about Battle? Brian Battle?
Brian Battle's probably the story of the event, I think.
There's so many, but I think that if I had to boil it down to one true story of the event, Brian Battle, from pre-fight to post-fight and everywhere in between. So Brian Battle, right out the bat, walks out in Paris to the song. So there's no way to say this without getting canceled.
The big word. That's how.
Yep.
That's how.
The big word in Paris.
The big word in Paris. So yeah. So right, just setting the tone right off the bat. Brian Battle, very American. Very American. So he comes out, shows out, has a tremendous showing.
An
yeah.
unbelievable showing. Second round stoppage. Just couldn't miss with his right hand. And then
greeted the French crowd with Freedom Rock.
The second the fight was over, he celebrated, did that like the hands up run around, and then immediately was like composed himself. He's like, "Wait a minute, I need to flip off these fans."
It was almost like, so he like celebrates. He realized he beats the shit out of his opponent, his French opponent, and it was like, "Oh, whoa! I'm American. I hear some boo birds." They didn't let him have it.
Yep.
Not immediately, and then he was like, "Bum bum 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 bum," and just immediately starts flipping.
So
everybody
obviously
off.
we've heard tons of booing in event. I've never ever heard booing like this ever.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Mike Bisping goes to give him the post fight, and he's like, "Yeah, boo me," and that went on for 3 full minutes, and then he had the interpreter who had to be like, "Yeah, French crowd, boo me," and so he's like, "You think this American's gonna let a French guy beat me up in a fist fight? French guy?
You think of this? The Barbarian's gonna lose to a French dude in a fist fight? He kept saying "dude" like that, which was so awesome.
Yeah.
It was pretty epic. It was really, really great. It's
reminds
Those
me
were
of,
some
like-
serious fucking booze. That was like Roger Goodell at Gillette.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I couldn't believe again for like a throwaway fight night. But again, you have to understand that like Paris obviously doesn't get their share of events, so this was a big deal to them. I remember like when we first came to Boston, we got like a terrible card, or not so much a terrible card,
Was
just
the,
like
the Randy Couture, was that the main event?
it was
The
Couture
first one?
Tony. Yeah. But like even like the undercard, it was just like exploded because it hadn't been here.
Yeah.
So like when you don't get a lot of events, they're like coming out in droves. The arena was packed, and they did not care for Brian Battle, but he cut a promo way better. Like I remember when Colby first did his thing, he was like, Brazil stinks. But it was like a guy who was like, Brazil is stupid. You know, it was like really like thought out and put on. Brian Battle was
Really, doesn't like being in France.
I believed it.
Yeah.
It seemed genuine. It was a Kevin Spacey like convincing performance. He let the crowd know.
Picked an interesting actor.
I like to separate the art from the artist.
Okay. Oh, yeah, so Brian Battle.
Oh, even better. Yes,
So
the French hate him.
Based on his walkout song, The Big Word.
Yes.
Never heard that. I love that.
Yeah, that's the one we
Big
go-
Word in Paris and his post-fight antics. He's fined $250,000, banned from fighting in France for life. Just done.
By the way,
That's it.
$250,000 is a tremendous sum of money.
But I wonder if it's like, do you ever like? Imagine if I went to like a foreign country and got a parking ticket, I'd be like, "Fuck you, I'm never
I
going
would
back."
if France charged me any amount of money.
Who fined him?
I think it was the French
the French
sanctioning
Athletic
body.
Commission.
It wasn't the UFC. You think Dana White gives a fuck, dude?
Yeah,
Does
dude.
Dana,
No,
does
oh,
Dana
Dan-
pay that fine?
Dude, see, that's another thing I was
I don't
thinking
know,
about.
'cause Dana- there's no way he'd be happy about that.
Because Brian Battle's never going to fight in Paris again. The odds of them, I mean, again, how many times do they fight in Paris a year?
Yeah, so Brian Battle is said to receive a $250,000 fine and a lifetime ban from competing in France from the French Athletic Commission after walking out to the Big Word in Paris, finishing their French fighter and flipping off the fans per multiple sources.
So again, if I got any sort of, I don't want to over share, but like one time I got sued by a guy in England, and I just ignored it.
Wait, does that mean we can't go to England?
No, it's
civil.
civil, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, so, but I one time I got sued by the same guy in England like 4 times. I just ignored it. I just kept ignoring it. Is that fine? Can I say that?
I don't care. Like it's statute of limitations. It's so far gone anyway.
He kept suing me, and I just kept ignoring it because it was in England. Why would I give a shit, dude?
IP trolling, Rob. It's a long story.
Maybe he was hoping that you had bank accounts in England that he could seize.
Maybe he thought I was soft. Yeah, but no. But if
Can I talk about earlier in the card? Is that fine?
talk about it. There's so much.
So Duncan and Oki, I think it's Oki. Oki. We pronounce things wrong all the
Okie
time. Okie dokie, artichoke. So Duncan has this locked-in guillotine, and Oki's on top of him, and Oki like shrimps his head out. And then Duncan like gives him like a knuckle sandwich, like a little taps,
Yeah,
and then he
pepperonis.
realizes like, I subbed him, I slept him. He's snoring on me right
the
now.
guillotine was effective.
So my thing is, did Duncan, was it like a placebo effect where he thought he's like, this guy I don't have it locked in, and like let him go, or could he have got his head out just before losing consciousness?
I don't know.
Like that.
It was bizarre.
He was completely out.
Oh yeah, he was cold. Yeah, and it wasn't from the punches. It was from the guillotine.
That was strange.
Yeah. And then like guillotines and all blood chokes are kind of weird because they can be like a hair delayed.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
But yeah, he gave him a little like tappy tap, and he's like, "Oh, he's and he told the referee, he's like, by the way, this guy's like, give him a pillow."
We
He's
got
sleeping."
the knee, we got twerking homegirl, and we got the main event.
Matt Frivola just getting absolutely kneed into the shadow realm.
So that was that. Did you see this knockout? Did you see the clip of it, Rob?
No, go.
I mean,
tell me.
it has potential for a knockout of the year. So it was like a cage turn. It was a half plum. He threw up the knee, and before he hit the ground, he was out stiff.
So Frivola is just on his back, and then Zayam, Zayam,
Yep.
lands just two or three standing just bombs. Maybe it was two.
It was
but,
two, but the mouth guard had been dislodged from the knee already. It was a death blow.
And
It was
Frivola didn't get up for
unbelievable.
quite some time.
Yeah, it took a while for him to even
Early
get back
knockout
to
of the year candidate.
to his stool. I mean, he was it was like one of those knockouts that was unbelievable, then like a hair scary.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad. I mean, he was absolutely completely stiff when he hit the ground. It was awesome. Oh really, dude? What are you, 4 years old, dude?
No,
Fuck
it's
you.
like he got
what are you
knocked out,
laughing at
like-
that too, Rob?
Yeah, he got
Jesus
like-
Christ, dude, the peanut gallery over here. So how else are you gonna say it, dude?
No, I was just laughing at it. He got knocked out like so bad, and the guy's like just punched him a couple more times in the face.
Those are unnecessary.
Yeah.
Super necessary.
Main event.
No, you gotta have homegirl dropping her ass in that girl's face too
yeah,
after
twerk time.
missing weight and twerking her way off the scale because she was so dehydrated. All right, so Aylin Perez misses weight, gets off the scale, and does
So she was like trying to raise her hand. Yeah, she did the
She's very
the
attractive.
electric slide. I mean,
And she looked even like well presented at the scale because sometimes they look gaunt. Like you ever see like when Connor makes like 145, he looks
Yeah.
like Skeletor. But she gets off and she was like trying to wait for the crowd, and she just does this like the stinky like all the way down
bam,
after missing weight,
Yep.
right? But then she does like the Patty Pimblett Fortnite teabag on her opponent.
no. So I think it was an arm triangle. I have to go back. I think I'm almost positive it was an
cares,
arm
dude?
triangle. Taps her out. She twerks in her face. Then
Readjust.
the girl stands up and moves.
Kind of.
And she turns around. She twerks more in her face.
It was very much like how like a corgi would adjust its ass to
Yeah.
get more pets. So yeah, so she like she chokes girl out, drops her ass on her to twerk on her. Homegirl gets up, and then you could tell she was like kind of looking where the cameras were, and it was like, oh, I got to put my ass over here more.
Yeah.
You can't twerk on a girl after missing weight. I feel like that. I feel like in unified rules, we'll have to talk to ABC.
Excessive twerking is like
Just
one of the-
it's not excessive at all. It's just if you fail to make weight, you have to forfeit. You know, like you have to give up 20% of your purse, the athletic commission, 10% to like your opponent. You have to give up your right to twerk on your opponent. That's how I feel personally.
Yeah.
That's a hill I'd be willing to die on. Moicano,
So the Moicano fight was
Saint Denis
was nuts. So Moicano, so I don't know what the actual medical break was. He broke his shoulder. I don't know.
I don't even know if it dislocated.
No,
it
it
looks like
it could be it could be dislocated. I saw the X-ray and whatever bone. I don't think it's his collarbone, but it's a bone very clearly like under his trap that is 4 inches out of place.
That's disgusting.
It was in the second round, and then
Well, so the first round he annihilates Saint Denis and just smashes him. 10-8 round, very clear 10-8 round. Saint Denis actually rallies back in the second round, but then between the second and third, they take a look at his eyes. His left eye is essentially swollen shut. It's by far and away the healthier of the two eyes. The right eye is bleeding profusely. They actually did a great job closing the cut, but it's still, they stopped the bleeding, but it's above and it's completely closed. So the doctor comes over, checks his eyes. At one point, it almost looked like they're gonna let it go because he's throwing up 4s, 3s, and Saint Denis has been like he's calling him out. Then the doctor covers his left eye and he's like throwing up numbers, and you could tell he's like
you know what?
3. Maybe the number 1, and the guy's like, dude, this guy can't fucking see anything. Dude.
His face reminded me of a Mad Ball. Remember Mad Balls?
It reminds me of that thing.
That's literally it's like
that
Screaming
thing that floats
Meanie or-
around in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, the eyeball monster.
The eyeball monster that gets the knife in the eye. If anyone hasn't seen it, I apologize if I spoiled that part of the film. But yeah, he looked. I mean, he's the most badass human being.
Oh yeah, he
and
wanted
then
to keep fighting.
Moicano, if that guy can't cut a promo, have you ever seen his podcast? It's like a fever dream. He just says anything he wants. He's the guy that like learned to speak English from watching Eastbound and Down or something. Like he just says anything he wants. He's so crazy. So like during the post fight, he was like, "I love France," and then who's the president of France? Marcon. He's like, "Fuck Marcon," and it was like, "Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah,
I don't know. Are we pro? I don't know." And then again, I'm not gonna listen. We've covered my international politics are not a strength of mine because apparently there's some sort
Ukraine still has a conflict.
What is the Ukraine?
It's just Ukraine. I don't know why the hell people add that.
No, I was joking when I was being self-deprecating.
gotcha.
Sorry. Yeah, Kiev.
Matt very familiar with the America.
Yeah,
but that's about
the
it.
USA. That's all I care about, baby.
Your favorite mayor, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Iron Fist. Let's go. The Klitschko's.
Yeah.
Which one? I have no idea. I feel like they could just.
It's the older one.
It's Vladimir.
The older one.
Yeah, I think it's Vladimir. Yeah.
Vitaly, who they called Vitali for years because they just didn't know.
But here's the thing: I'm not even convinced it's Vitaly. Still.
He corrected Larry Merchant at some point in time.
Larry Merchant.
Because Larry Merchant was telling everybody, he's like, "It is Vitaly." That's the best I can do.
And there you have it. That is UFC in Paris.
Yeah.
If you love violence and identical twins, please like and subscribe to the Toe to Toe Fight Show. Yeah, so we took the show on the road this weekend and found ourselves at Madison Square Garden for Ryan v. Mayer. So we were lucky enough to talk to a number of cool people, the coolest of which I think is my new best friend, Chris Mannix. Do you feel like that's fair to say?
So if Chris is watching, Matt did put down a non-refundable deposit on a tandem bike. I don't even know if you live anywhere near him, but it's made me feel kind of second fiddle.
Oh, you're not even in the fucking conversation, dude. Like, my kids I still love, but you're completely out of the conversation.
Got it, understood.
You are the most famous person to ever find themselves in my DMs ever. My story of meeting Chris, I got a DM at one point asking for credentials. You have like a cartoon avatar. I didn't think it was you. I told Mark.
Matt texted me.
I'm like, oh my God,
Chris Mannix,
it's Chris
what's
Mannix.
that?
And I tried to play it cool. I was like, yeah, you can have credentials. So we are here with Chris Mannix. We are watching fights. So yes, I'll hand the mic to you because this is the only mic we have.
We saw that Chris was ringside doing actual work, and we were like, hey, and we just caught his ear, and he was like, what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're interviewing people, and he's like, do you want to interview me? And I played hard. I was like, no, do your thing, And he's like, no, I'll talk. So it was awesome. So that was probably my...
On our way to get to interview him, he had to take 10,000 photos.
But that's the best,
everybody
too. Some
loves
guy
him.
was like, you mind if I snap a photo real quick? I was like, with me or of him? With me or him? And the guy was like genuinely confused. He was like, I want to take a picture of Chris Mannix.
With the famous
and I was like,
guy who's awesome.
Me or him? And he was like, him, dude. And I was like, no, I know, dude. So, yes, we sat down with Chris. Awesome. He's so great. He's a good interview.
I love him because he's incredibly knowledgeable, but he's very transparent. Like, he doesn't play like the company line. He'll say stuff, but he's never like rude or disparaging about it.
No, totally. I actually thought that too. And it's funny with people of that type of platform. Sometimes I really don't know how to navigate it in terms of like what they can or can't say.
Yeah.
So even as we were like walking up to the room, I was like, "So are you like affiliated with this?" And he's like, "Dude, like." Just talk to me. Like, what are you talking?
Yeah.
Like, don't be an idiot. Like, just talk to me normal. He didn't say it like that, but he basically was like, no, like,
we're just
ask me
guys.
questions.
Yeah.
We'll talk. He's like, ask me about your shows coming up. Ask me about this show. Ask me about boxing, and we did, and it was great. And it's cool that Chris has history in the Boston area. He's familiar with people that we're working with and training with. And especially with our own promotion, and it's cool that he'll be in the area additionally for our upcoming shows.
Be here. You guys put on an unbelievable show a few weeks back. I mean, look, I know how hard putting on club shows are, like the red tape that you have to steamroll through to do it, but you guys had an incredible crowd on that night, a great main event, a good young fighter that you just signed in Tommy O'Toole. We were talking about the big promoters have an interest in him, so he's got a big future. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with him moving forward.
And I know I joke around, but like in all seriousness, like it is cool to have a guy like Chris Mannix in your corner.
Yeah.
Like he's an awesome dude. Oh yeah, I think as far as favorite moments with Chris Mannix, I don't know that I could say just one. I think he did a good job of. I think he navigated Beterbiev and Bivol pretty politically because. I think he's leaning Bivol. By the way, for the sake of this podcast, I know we're going to talk about betting and the like. I will say I did not change my bet because of Chris Mannix. I do lean Bivol, but I don't love either one of them because it is like the closest thing to a 50-50 fight.
True coin flip.
I mean, they present so identically in terms of amateur prowess. I liked how well he was able. To articulate why he liked Bivol slightly, but also tiptoe around the idea of the fact that it, like, listen, like, if it goes deep, I think he can drown him out and box him, what have you. But at the same time, like, he didn't commit to anything because that's a ridiculous, like, you can't just say, like there's guys in the gym that just go, oh, Beterbiev's going to smoke him, Bivol's going to smoke him. You can't talk in absolutes with that fight. That's crazy. And if one guy catches the other guy, everyone's going to pretend like they're Nostradamus online. But he did a great job breaking down that fight, I thought, So we were very lucky to sit down with the very shy Eric Kelly. So for those that don't know, Eric Kelly is a linchpin in the boxing community. The guy is a legend. So he is encyclopedic when it comes to boxing knowledge. He also doesn't give a fuck who you are.
I done fought internationally. I've viral videos have gone internationally.
Wait, which one?
I was kidding.
Training guys like you.
No, fuck you. I actually fun.
Training guys. I to no prevail. You was better. You was better taking cooking lessons.
And I mean that in like the nicest way. He is a good dude. Sometimes it doesn't like necessarily translate.
Did you have children when you was fighting?
No.
Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we were
'Cause that'd
much
be,
younger.
they would be going through hell in school right now.
When you see the interview, I think some people might be taken aback by how he goes at me and stuff.
Yeah, they don't get it.
But that's like how, because that's how passionate he is about this shit.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and Mark, he's like, fuck these guys aren't fighters. And part of me is like, no, fuck you, like, I definitely fight, you know? But, like, you have to understand, like, the stage in which Eric Kelly fought.
Yeah.
The people in which he surrounds himself.
Jermaine Taylor, Brian Valoria, Vernon Forrest, David Reed, Teion Shepard, Roberto Benitez, Saku Powell, Zaire Rahim. I could just go. Larry Nicholson naming Olympic champions and world champions. Timothy Bradley.
My stablemates weren't Andre Ward or Vernon Forrest.
It was everybody.
Yeah.
He's seen everyone. And again, my knowledge of boxing is incredible. His knowledge of boxing, it's not that he knows his shit. It's that he knows his shit and he lives it, you know?
I'm undefeated in this building, so right now you in my house. It's my shit.
Too.
You 0-0. You undefeated. You uncontested too, my brother.
But no, I mean, he was such a good interview. And the thing with Eric is, you could say stuff like when Mark said Prince Nassim and Barrera, he immediately defended Nassim and was like,
He's like everybody says Barrera. That's the first thing that comes up.
And he said, you know, Kevin Kelly defended his resume and all this shit. But the one immediately when Mark said, you know, Nassim didn't take the rematch.
Nassim he had a rematch clause.
He was like, you're right, I can't defend that. Like, he gives credit where it's due as well. So if you watch the interview and think that he's kind of taking shots at me, which he is because he doesn't give a fuck about anybody, and that's why I love him.
Hit him.
I can name him.
You tweaking. Name him. Let me hear this bullshit.
It's because it comes from like the most impassionate boxing enthusiast. I mean, the guy lives and breathes boxing. He fought at the absolute highest level with the biggest monsters in the game and is engrossed in the sport like nobody is that you'll ever meet. So that guy is he's literally one of a kind.
Our British fight is generally soft. Be fucking real.
Softer than baby shit.
Right, they are.
These
are.
for real, softer than baby shit. You want me to lie to you?
Every one of them.
He's still sparring too. I've seen him do rounds.
Dude, he doesn't
lately.
give a fuck,
I know.
dude. He's like, I mean, again, like you have to understand like the pedigree in which this guy is cut from. I mean, he'll tell you, you know. And even like I was like, what kind of guys you training right now? He's like, fucking nerds like you. And I'm like, I'm not a fucking nerd. I fought, you know. As much as he busts balls and stuff, the guy has like a genuine heart. Like he'll seek people out. If you say what's up to him, he'll dab you up.
We were doing an interview before him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just wait for you guys. Like, I'll hang as long as you want. Don't worry about it. No rush."
He took his time out. He doesn't know us or met him. He sat there and watched the fights at Madison Square Garden and just waited politely for us to finish a different interview. So it's like it just speaks to like the character and type of dude he is. And whenever we're at Gleason's, like we were saying with him on the interview, he'll see shit when guys are fighting and he'll just call it out. And he'll be like, no, dude, he's like, throw that uppercut, you're in the pocket, throw that hook, step back, jab, you know? And he'll also be like, this guy sucks. Like he's like, blue corner got it. He's like, blue corner, he's like, nah, fucking robbery. Like he'll call it out. Like he doesn't care. You know, so he really is the salt of the earth, and like the sport of boxing needs more dudes like Eric Kelly.
Yeah, Curran Badia he was awesome. So he's so charismatic behind the mic. He's like, you can tell how comfortable he is. But one of the coolest parts about talking to him is we've been talking. We signed Thomas O'Toole to an exclusive contract, and he was on the call.
I was
for
like, do you know
Thomas's
Thomas
second
O'Toole?
fight.
And he's like, oh, did I? And then he just broke down the fight in which he was on the call.
Yeah, he's like, I remember. You know, he's a tall lefty.
He's like, he's southpaw, right? He's like tall southpaw.
And Thomas is 11-0 and has some great knockouts. That was his viral knockout.
Yeah,
like that second fight was an emphatic knockout, and Curran got to call that.
Yeah, I actually called Thomas O'Toole's second pro fight. This was against Mark Malone. This was in November of 2021. This was on the undercard of Demetrius Andrade's. It was like a homecoming show of his. And it was a first-round knockout. I was very impressed by Thomas O'Toole. I believe, if I remember correctly, he's a southpaw, because I remember it was a left hand that dropped his opponent. He hurt him, and then he stopped him first round. around. And I'll have to go back and look, but I think his opponent was undefeated at the time as well. So I was very impressed with the kid. I remember speaking with him as well. I was impressed with him all around. So I think that's a great signing. And again, this goes back to what we're talking about. Making yourself marketable through those highlight reel knockouts, through personality. I remember him having a great personality. So that's a great signing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's doing, what he's going to keep doing. And I'm sure, especially in the Boston area, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans for Thomas O'Toole.
The fact he was able to like boom, 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 just pick all that apart was amazing. I'll say this about Curran. Mark and I do the Haymakers for Hope commentary, and they were like, "Oh, like if you're not available in New York, we got this other guy." When I found out it's him,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm not gonna
"What
do
the
this.
hell are you fucking
Yeah,
calling me
you got this
for?"
ace in the hole.
Like I talked to him for like 2 seconds, and it was like just first of all, just looking at him, he's just so presentable. Like just looking at this schlub on the couch
I literally
right now,
looked. I'm like,
and
this guy's hair is perfect.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say his hair. I'm looking at his hair the whole time. At one point, I switched hats as we were cutting promos, and I tried to do it fast just to not show my fucking hair. Meanwhile, this guy is like so well kept. And then we just did the interview without any. We just did it cold,
Just riffed, yeah.
and riffed it. And he was so eloquent and articulate and poised. And it was like, wow, this is how you do it. That dude's a monster on the mic. He's really, really talented.
My man was very demure.
Yeah,
Demure.
very mindful, very
I mean-
cutesy. Yeah.
I mean, no. In all seriousness, he that guy is like.
So Rob, real
exudes
quick, Matt
professionalism.
doesn't have a lot of social media, so I don't know if you.
No, I get it. I'm not fucking 11 years old. I'm not playing into your
I don't think
stupid
Matt- I
TikTok
don't-
shit.
Hey, Rob,
sorry, you
Rob-
dumb motherfuckers have like.
Rob,
just-
I don't think Matt gets it.
First of all, sorry you guys are referencing something that's like a month old now.
Rob,
dude.
I think Matt has Instagram Reels and not
So-
TikTok, and I don't think he gets it.
Give me the money. You guys gonna do that? Yay! You guys gonna do that now too?
Paging Dr. Beat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Sorry, you guys are all like fucking a month behind on social media stuff. Demure, yeah, I get it, dude. It's fucking cutesy. I get it.
Rob, I don't think he gets it.
Jesus.
So another
Christ.
note to bring up about the night is how late the fucking fights
Boo.
were.
Oh,
Dude, so I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go to sleep now. They go, and the main card's starting. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll say, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna name names, but there were people we interviewed. They were like, what planet are we on?
yeah. A
like-
10:30 start for the main card.
First of all, it was a Friday night too, which is stuff.
Exactly,
So
it's
Mark
not
and
a
I, as
Saturday.
promoters, we've been hosting Friday night cards. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's because we've had difficulty securing Saturday nights.
Yeah,
Now,
so November 22nd, as far as we know, should be essentially our last Friday night card, unless we get a major venue
Yeah.
that can't move. We
like,
get a
if
massive venue.
I'll do a Wednesday night. I'll do a Thursday night if the venue makes sense. But realistically, we're booking like 6 months, 8 months out to get Saturday nights. So if you're gonna book,
We're not top rank.
we're not
You know what I
top
mean? Like
ranked,
that, like-
and it's not Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So when they're doing a Friday night and the main card starts at 9:30, dude, everyone's working all day. People are getting on the wrong trains because their brother's a fucking idiot. You know,
was the right train. It was the right train. It was the right train.
It was the wrong week.
Yeah,
but
that's all.
so then we get there and it's like, dude, the main event is starting so late. And then additionally to that, it was really, I felt unfair to Ryan and Mayer because, all right, so you stack this card, right? Who's on a card in New York? It's stacked with,
Local talent.
it's not even local talent. It's all Puerto Rican talent,
Yeah.
dude. Like who are going to
Like,
like
Puerto
absolutely-
Rican boxing fans in New York.
It's like
There's a lot of
a
them.
hive mindset.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. You know, it's like it was such a throwback. I mean,
It was pretty odd. Like
it
the
was
energy in that
awesome.
Zandazaya's fight in particular.
because it was
Dude,
it was
it was loud.
It was kind of reminding you of that like early 90s, mid 90s vibe of
Yeah.
what it was like to be
Puerto Rican boxing culture, dude.
yeah, Puerto Rican boxing culture
Yeah, it
in
was sick.
in New York City.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Now you got a female headed card, right, with two badass women,
Yep.
right, on a Friday night that starts extremely late. That is right after a surging Puerto Rican star, again in New York.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, Shushu too, right? So, and then what happens? A lot of the crowd's leaving, dude. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like it looked better on ESPN and ESPN Plus, than it did in the crowd.
Maybe they knew something that we don't know. Like maybe it was for the West Coast
Yeah, it's fair.
broadcast crowd, and less for the East Coast.
Yeah,
Maybe
and they
less
have
for the East Coast.
and they have marketing deals and shit like that where it's in like certain sponsorships drive certain things where you see it with football and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like depending on who plays what, but But no, the card as itself, I
Well,
thought.
can I talk about some highs and lows on the card?
Yeah.
So the opening bout, that Polanco, who Hector,
Dominican kid.
yeah,
Works with Bermudez there.
yep, Hector Bermudez in his corner. That kid is, one, incredible, and two, he's got some star power. Like the way he was carrying himself.
So it's funny because when you see shit in person, it's one thing, right? So he had thunderous power, all that shit. So we saw him beat Homeboy's ass, but at one point he stung him at the end of a round, and the kid was actually walking towards his own corner. He spun him around. But you know what's funny? I saw that highlight on my phone afterward, and with the production value, you went, oh, it was almost like a moment.
Yeah.
When you went, oh, this kid like might turn into something. He was really impressive.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you, so Tiger Johnson
didn't suck. I don't want to shit on the kid.
No, I'm not saying personally, I thought he was going to run through him. I thought he
here's the problem with Johnson. There was for a kid out of the Midwest and fighting out of Vegas, what have you. There was a lot of energy in the room about him. There was a shitload of Team
Tons
Tiger
of people,
hoodies and stuff. There was a lot of noise for him.
Great lead hand at range, but he just engaged
tied
in the
up a
clinch
lot,
constantly.
and he was in there with the opponent that what you see in a lot of these shows is you get these seasoned opponents from Central and South America that are good.
It's not some cabbie. This is a guy that was he's
but generally not really
experienced.
dangerous, like a guy.
No, exactly, but relatively durable.
But
even if you're durable,
yeah.
Tiger should have put on a much
Tiger
stronger
boxed him up,
performance.
but there was times where he did. I don't want to say he got hurt, but
he definitely got his
got
attention
stung.
a couple times.
And then also additionally, he was
The sixth round in particular.
Sixth and
Eighth.
eighth round. He definitely got his bell rung when it wasn't really like. It wasn't a star launching platform where I think it was kind of presented that way, and he did initiate the clinch and stuff.
But I think his next fight he needs another. I think he needs another kind of experienced journeyman who's durable. But like I wouldn't take a step up after that.
And there were two other guys on the card that are big New York draws in Milnicki and Shushu, and both fought to majority decisions. Now I'll say this. I thought both of them were close competitive fights. I maybe lean both Milnicki and Shushu in those fights. But in watching them, and again, we're doing interviews and stuff, I kept looking and it was like, the crowd would get loud whenever either one had their times.
These are close fights, and they shouldn't be close fights.
And that's really the line short of it. I don't know how to like expand upon it beyond that. Whereas like Shushu and Milnicki, they get the opportunity to fight at Madison Square Garden, which again they're going to have. But the thing is, those guys are fighting for top 15, top 10 type fights.
Yeah, and what's funny is like when those types of so it's interesting. So there's when you do, and I don't want to call it a smaller show. It's a top rank show on ESPN.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying as far as top rank shows go, it wasn't a Saturday night pay per view. So it's like it
was akin to like what the UFC just did, where it's like a para show versus
it's
a fight night
versus a pay per view. So a lot of shows get criticized because they have like gross mismatches, and nobody wants to see that. And everyone's like, oh, you want competitive fights. When it comes to showcasing those...
You kind of want to get them over.
Yeah,
I know.
You kind of want like a six-round knockout.
I feel like, with both those guys, they didn't have to knock them out. I feel like one of the guys we interviewed, I don't know if they said it during the interview, but they really it looked like both Shushu and Milnicki especially, where it's like they could have done more. Like they look like they just kind of fought a little bit more passively.
To their level.
Yeah, and it's like, and who knows why, But both guys are, I think, super talented, and I think they, and they got the win. So that's all that truly at this stage is all that matters.
Yeah, sure.
Because if they go to Madison Square Garden tomorrow, they'll sell out.
And Tiger Johnson though. It wasn't about just getting wins.
No.
Polanco's star, I thought, went through the roof.
Polanco was the first fight. And,
yeah,
people are getting settled in. They had some, again, he's Dominican, but you had some Latino fans there that were getting very excited.
But yeah, during his fight,
I could have easily been on my phone, getting settled into the media section, not paying attention, and he caught my attention.
He's the guy. And again, it's not. As promoters, as people who coach, as people who fought, we're not shitting on these guys.
No, they're awesome.
But I'll tell you, Tiger Johnson, I don't like. I'll watch him on the next card and be like, "Oh, that's cool," but I'll actively look to see when Polanco's fighting again.
You just nailed it because like if Tiger Johnson's on we have a talented fighter,
talented kid, yeah,
and you know, but I might be looking at who he's fighting.
Yeah.
With Polanco, I'm like, oh shit, I want to see when this kid fights again because I want to
think
be
he's gonna
like,
do something
I want to
big
be, I want to
eventually.
go to the gym, and be like, hey, you hear about this Polanco kid?
Yeah.
This kid's gonna be the next, like, because he had like a little bit of shimmer to him, and Johnson's like 4 years old. I think he's like 21 years old.
I know.
So young.
Yeah,
so,
but I think he just needs more time developing.
Oh, exactly. And
that was like the big takeaway for me.
And then the main event.
So not to brag. So that I do want to get ahead of ourselves on the main event. Bet the farm. We said it's a close fight, but in a close fight, when you have an American and a Brit on U.S. soil in their backyard, you have to go American.
And the American was signed to Top Rank, not for nothing.
We said Mayer, due to those reasons, you have a majority decision.
Can I also say I believe Mayer won?
Yeah, no doubt. It was a close fight.
Yes,
Very
but I
close
did
fight.
have Mayer winning.
Same.
Not because I bet on her.
But in a close
Objectively,
fight,
yes.
Mayer wins that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I
Whereas
mean?
in Wembley,
Yeah.
previously,
Yep.
she may not
It
have.
might be Ryan.
In 02, she might not have.
So tons of drama.
Just
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
everybody knows, for my victory lap, I not only bet on
Dude,
Dubois,
this is obnoxious.
but I also bet on Mayer, and I was pretty sure about both of them. And yeah, I won $40 on a $5.
Rob, relax. Would you stop
know?
flexing on the crowd?
Rob
they already
sucker
know we're
parlay hit.
wealthy. All right,
sucker
as you can
parlay
read from
hit. Yep.
comments talking about my overall aesthetics and health.
All right, so we know that there was drama between Mayer's camp and Ryan's camp.
Yep.
That Mayer was accusing Ryan of like kind of stealing her training partners, her coaches.
The coaches.
Yeah,
yes.
the coach in particular. Whatever. Okay, so that was out there. Ryan before the fight
Yes.
was hit with paint.
She was
Can you-
canned.
yeah. Can you?
Yeah, so I didn't know about this until after the fight because we were there, and people had talked about the pressers and the weigh-ins and how it was contentious because of all this back and forth bullshit with the coaching and all that stuff. What I will say is that after the fact, I heard that I was like, Ryan got paint thrown on her or whatever. Ryan's in like a crop top, white pants, outside of her hotel. She just, it was like, the wording was a little confusing. It was like, it sounded like she might have been in the lobby, might have been, but it was outside the hotel. But a guy from Matchroom is like, yeah, there you go. She was like covered in red paint. Someone threw paint on her, and then I saw the paint can itself. And then I saw, and he's like, it could have been anyone, but we know it was like a member of her team.
So here's
No, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So then they have like real like high def video of them washing off the sidewalk, right? And then after the fact, today Ryan releases a photograph of her stark naked in her like hotel room, like covering up and showing like the paint on her, which looks even like more egregious than we saw. And she was like, I could have said no, I got assaulted and all this shit. So with the CROCK or not, there is a lot to unpack, right? So it's like, did someone from Mayer's camp throw paint on her? Did some random psycho throw paint on her? Or was there some home cooking?
You can say it.
Was there some Jesse Smollett ass shit that went down? Was it Top Rank cooking up stuff inside? Was it Ryan's camp? Was it Matchroom, by the way?
I will say that parts like the New York City is not a real place. So like the creatures that come out of certain areas of New York City.
New York City's not a dangerous place
No,
in the city, but Mark
it's
and
just
I just got a
bizarre.
slice of pizza, and there's just some dude who had no shoes on, no socks on, and I just kept looking at his feet, and he just had a cigarette, and he was like, "You piece of shit, you piece."
But
of
I don't even
shit."
know who he was
And I'm
talking
like,
to.
if that guy had red paint, he might throw it.
That's
at
what I'm
me.
saying.
So I did think that.
Sandy Ryan says that there's CCTV that they're going to go through, and she's going to release the truth soon. It seems like she, is a firm believer that it's somebody from the other camp.
Yes, she does seem that way.
She does seem to be saying that, and we are talking about her after she just lost.
Yeah, man, and it's like, but like, all right, so it couldn't be a dude from Matchroom that throws paint on her. It couldn't be a guy from Top Rank trying to sell a rematch to throw paint on her. Like, I don't know. And there's, again, if you see the video, there's like, it looks like a Netflix, like, it looks like a Scorsese film. Like they're filming like the water rinsing off the sidewalk. It looks like you know, a Kubrick. Like, it looks like the way it's shot looks like it's already for a documentary.
Croc or not, where are you leaning? I think her camp threw it. I think she set it up.
Okay, I think it's legit. But I
think
do
it's
like
legit?
it. Dude, I do think it's legit.
Yeah, beyond legit, who do you think it was Mayer's camp?
Well, I don't want to, like, smear.
It's speculation. That's literally the entire sketch.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know who threw it. I feel like
Okay,
boring.
how about this? If you're gonna say, is it somebody's camp or is it random psycho? Are you going with camp or psycho?
Yeah, if you had to lean one way or the other.
I'm going random psycho. I know that's such a bizarre,
it's-
like that's such a shitty take.
No, it's
looking at the
New
paint
York
bucket
is-
can. It like if you see, can you find the paint bucket can? It looks like a half-used, shitty old Sherman Williams paint bucket can. So it just looks like some fucking psycho threw a paint bucket at her. I know that seems.
It's
there's
the
so many
photos and the
coincidences.
videos are just so
The
weird.
photo is weird. It's a high def photo outside. It's a high def photo inside where
The
she's
oth-
like it looks
the-
like a Guess Jeans ad where she's covering
the other
up.
thing for me.
Rob's winding
Yeah,
up.
go on.
Rob, give it to me.
My feeling for so I'm gonna put on my action movie hat
Yes.
and my fucking counter-terrorism silly hat.
Yes.
Okay. She's walking out with her crew.
Yeah.
Right? Her whole crew.
Oh, they only
There's
hit
some
her.
athletic motherfuckers in that crew.
Sure.
None of them
Chase
gonna
this
go
guy
run
down.
after that guy
In
and
fact,
get him down.
the dude they interviewed from
on.
Matchroom looked like Travis Kelce. He was like this big ass white fucking jacked guy.
Yes.
Like he looked like a
The
killing
other
machine.
thing was
That's
her,
a good point.
her
dude.
take of being like, yeah, I was assaulted. Like Ryan is a fucking badass. Like she's actually a fucking aggressive fighter. Like she's a fucking dog. So like for her to be like, yeah, I was assaulted. I could have like nah, like that sounds out of character for a fighter of her caliber.
What do you mean? I actually don't know. What
Like
you mean.
she's saying she could have like backed out of the fight.
Dude,
basically.
Rose Namajunas had to go to like therapy after Connor threw the fucking hand truck at the bus.
A hand truck getting thrown at a moving
Connor?
vehicle versus some red paint. I guess like I'm not.
No, she had to go. She was like had like a breakdown, dude. And it's Rose
If so-
Namajunas who's like a murderer, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Ryan's a gangster, and I'm not gonna put anything on her on this one, but those dudes that she's with,
They are huge. It's a
they
great
could,
point.
They could chase this motherfucker, unless this dude is like Carl Lewis. That made
I'll
me
say
old.
this:
Usain
looking
Bolt.
at the guy, if I threw paint on Ryan, and I'm like not an unathletic dude, I'm pretty fit.
There's no way you're getting away from
that guy
those
would rip my
bodyguards.
arms
Yeah,
off. Like
yeah,
that was
yeah.
he was like a monster, and that was one dude.
I run like Tom Brady. There's no way I'm getting away.
Yeah, I can run. Like I'm not like lightning fast. Don't get me wrong, but I'm as fast at least as the average human. But that guy would have absolutely in 2 seconds would have caught me.
And you hang around in boxing gyms. These are people that are not afraid to put hands on
yeah.
other people.
And he was like a big dude who was bullshit.
What would you guys do if some rando on the street, God knows where you are, it doesn't matter, throws a paint can on one of your fighters?
So like again, just for context, like
You're
have,
what, 6 months removed from a broken arm? From
I was saying
a
I have
strap?
footage of me
Yeah.
getting literally arrested for defending one of my fighters for breaking my hand.
It's so funny that you
For-
said like for one of our fighters because yeah, if someone threw paint on me, I'd go fuck. This
But it
sucks.
No, but
but it's like completely different.
The last time I got in trouble with anything was there was an issue with one of my fighters in an event at Portland, Maine, because of a fan basically essentially attacking one of my fighters to the point that I broke my hand, was in a cast for 6 weeks. So yeah. So and that guy, I was not that guy. Again, the only way I could liken him, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong, I think he looked kind of like Travis Kelce. Like he was a huge ass dude in the Ryan video.
People
So
get caught throwing paint on fucking art.
All
you
the
know?
time.
All the time.
All the time.
I mean, yeah, they're inside of a locked facility, but still.
No, PETA
get-
people on the street.
Yes.
They dump it on fur coats all the time. They always get caught.
Yeah.
They always get caught.
Always.
Yeah.
Come on.
it
It's
is a weird
weird.
thing. Yeah.
My argument is, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
Croc.
who do you think did it?
Fucking Croc.
So
Croc.
Inside
who?
job. Inside
So
job.
but is it her camp? Or do you think it's? I would. Yeah.
You can't do an inside job if they're not in on it, dude. That's how a fucking inside job works.
I don't know. I've never been a rat, dude. All right, understood. Oh, we're gonna cut that up to make me look dumb again. Thanks, guys.
It's an
All right.
inside job surprise party.
Oh man, I believe this is a parody of the Great White Hype.
Oh, you think that's like specifically where it comes from?
Rob, have you ever seen the Great White Hype?
Yes, it's fantastic.
I literally think this is a parody of that. I'm not kidding.
So here's my thing. So I mean, it's definitely fake.
Yeah.
But I can't tell if it's a prosthetic or if it's like an AI superimposed image, because
It's a
AI is getting
prosthetic.
so much better. It looks like a
I
prosthetic
saw him like
to
hitting
me.
mitts at one point. And you can.
Wasn't Peter Berg the white guy in The Great White Hype?
Yes.
Awesome.
Dude, the Great White Hype was like sneaky underrated. But when Marlon Wayans takes off his robe, he has like this exact descended
Yeah.
gut. And then he ends up knocking out Homeboy anyways.
Ruin every fucking movie, dude.
If anyone hasn't seen The Great White Hype, which I'm sure has at least 1% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So it's a crock, and the reason is they want to move the line.
Oh yeah, and they have. So we literally just looked at the
Guys.
line.
just
Go ahead, Matthew. Educate us.
I don't understand.
Tell us more.
Explain to me how I can say this without getting canceled. I'm putting as much money as is allowed
We just looked at the DraftKings odds.
on Jake Paul.
Jake Paul went from minus 320 to minus 290.
Yes.
51% of the money is going on Jake Paul. 49%
I don't
of
think. Yeah.
the money is going on Mike Tyson.
So I don't think he's doing this to move the line.
You
I think
think
he's
he's
just
hyping the fight and
I think
being
he's
a troll?
shitting on Tyson the
Yeah.
fact that he's like this fat old guy.
It
Yeah.
could be
That-
encouraging more betting.
Yes.
Could be
Yeah.
Well, it's
selling the
working.
fight. The man is selling the fight.
We had great sparring at the gym on Saturday, and I was talking to a kid, or maybe it was Saturday, and I was talking to a kid, and I was like, "You're the reason I'm going to be more. I'm making more money. Like you are such a casual."
Someone at school hit me with, but it's Tyson. It's like, no, it's not Tyson. It's a guy 30 years removed from being Mike Tyson.
Since Jake Paul has been born, Mike Tyson has defeated
Botha.
Franz Botha, Brian Nielsen, Lou Savarese,
Clifford Etienne.
Clifford Etienne. And then he has a no contest against Galata, which is actually like a decent win. I'll say it again. Botha, who like ended up going to kickboxing.
I'll say at the time,
Botha was,
I
but Botha, by the way, but destroyed him. It boxed, well, I didn't destroy him.
No, and then
Boxed
that
his ears
short
off,
right hand,
and he
yeah.
got hammered.
But at the time, I
Brian
actually
Nielsen,
thought,
I remember
no,
watching
that's
that fight
yeah.
and just,
It
I remember
shouldn't be
the human
sanctioned.
interest piece and just pissing my pants laughing. And just be like, because like all of like Finland or Sweden or whatever Northern European country, again, geography, eat my butt, I don't care. Everyone was like, oh, Brian Nielsen. And I was like, Brian Nielsen? We're believing Brian Nielsen?
Sound like the crowd in Rocky IV.
I was like, we're gonna believe this fucking stumblebum is gonna beat Mike Tyson, and then Clifford Etienne. I remember he gets knocked down, puts his mouth guard back in his mouth, and then Tyson was like, "We're Muslim brothers. We can't be doing this to each other." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." And then Galata, he tested positive for marijuana, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
That was
but-
like the sign of the times.
Croc or not, very obvious Croc. The why, I think he's just hyping the fight and just
I
being
think
funny
it's
and
because he's a
trolling
social
Tyson.
media star and he
Yeah.
does stupid shit.
Yeah.
But he's gonna kill Mike Tyson.
Devin Haney files lawsuit against Ryan Garcia for, quote, battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment.
Do you know how much, or is it undisclosed?
Haney suffered damages in that he suffered physical injury, reputational damage, which will amount to millions of dollars in emotional and mental distress. My guess, if that's in their argument, it's a high dollar amount.
I'll say this. I'll use a point of reference. Now we didn't preview this. Arturo Gotti.
That was fucking different.
I didn't even get to finish.
Yeah, the fucking dude from Maine. What's his face?
Well, now that I forgot his name. Now that you said the dude from Maine. But when Arturo Gotti
Missed weight by
egregiously
18
missed
pounds.
weight, he was sued and he lost the lawsuit. It was very little money because it was considered like grievous bodily harm. And I think you're going to see something similar here. You had a guy miss weight. You had a guy take performance-enhancing drugs. It destroyed his reputation from, again, assholes like you
So
guys.
no joke that so like the bodily harm is fucking bullshit. He didn't have any reported injuries as far as I know. I think
Joey
that's what
Gamache.
Joey Gamache.
Joey Gamache from Maine. Arturo Gotti missed weight by a considerable amount, rehydrated by a considerable amount, and fucking annihilated
I mean,
Joey Gamache.
But that was like a serious lawsuit.
Yeah, brutal knockout. And Gamache was never the same in terms of his boxing career. He was never able to recover from that. And he did successfully sue him. I think there was a settlement actually, but I'd have to look it up. But no, this isn't without precedent. So let me ask you guys.
Gotti
this.
was 160.
What was
And
Gamache?
It was a 141 pound limit. I said 18 pounds. It was 19. So there
pounds,
you go.
And he fucking hammered him.
So
Hammered him, beat him senseless, and and he sued him and won, or at least settled. There was
So,
some, do you know?
So
what
it went to trial. So Gamache
Yeah.
said he suffered brain damage. Case was tried and decided by Judge Melvin, whatever. Found the state negligent in his lax handling of the pre-fight weigh-in. Gamache was not
Bang.
awarded any damages because he was not convinced that the negligence was a substantial factor in causing Gamache's injuries, but he considered the verdict a win as he acknowledged the New York State Athletic Commission's negligence.
brutal. But
This isn't negligence. They didn't know that he was on Ostarine, and then
he's
they
not
filed.
suing the commission. He's suing Ryan Garcia. Did Ryan Garcia miss weight?
Yes.
Was he on performance-enhancing drugs?
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. The missed weight thing, 3 pounds. That was negotiated. That was negotiated. He didn't have to take the fight.
He did get a little bit of a pay bump, I
got-
believe.
All right. Was he on performance-enhancing drugs?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think my headphones cut out.
Yes, he was.
Oh,
indeed.
all right. Can we play like the Night Court theme? This is a wrap, guys. I don't know why you guys.
Night Court is like a weird flute solo. Sneaky underrated show.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys.
Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
Let me.
Rest in peace.
God,
He
Mark.
died, Matt. So did Bull. Bull's
No,
dead too.
is Harry's alive, I think.
Harry
I thought
Anderson
Harry
has
was-
been dead maybe for 20 years, guys.
Get the fuck out of here.
Mark's usually wrong about this shit. He
I'm
thought
always
Leon
wrong.
Spinks was fighting.
I'll tell you when he fucking died. Both you clowns can
Do you
fucking...
guys? So Puff Daddy made a lot of music. You guys like him too? Huh?
Died in 2018.
God damn it.
It's not that long ago.
2018. It's almost a decade ago now.
He was fantastic.
He was great.
He was
I
absolutely
had
fantastic.
this great.
Hey, you guys are spinning this. Hold on. Shut the fuck up, both of you. Devin Haney is an innocent man. Ryan Garcia, he's a criminal. He's corrupt. He's a crook. Justice for Haney. I might print toe-to-toe fight show Justice for Haney t-shirts.
The
I might print one.
the only thing that makes me happier than Devin Haney taking an L in that Ryan Garcia fight is possibly taking 2 L's. When
Oh,
this,
he's
when this
winning.
doesn't go to
How could he
trial.
lose? How could he lose?
He was compensated for the missed weight, so hopefully that's not really part of the.
And his
Civil
reputation sucked ahead of time because he's a dork.
Wow, you guys are fucking ice cold takes. Ice cold.
Maybe you can sue him for diaper bills, dude, because he got a big poopy
Ice
diaper.
cold takes in here, dude.
Big old poopy diaper. This Bet the Farm segment is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Make sure to use our promo code TTFS.
Any $5 bet for new customers gets you $200 in bonus bets.
DraftKings, the crown
Is yours. Bet the Farm, sponsored by DraftKings. We got UFC 307 coming up, and there's a lot of stuff we like.
So Poatan Roundtree, look, here's the deal with Poatan Roundtree and why I like it. There's just so much about this fight to like. Number one, Roundtree is undeserving of the shot at Poatan. That's just a universal take. Okay, everyone believes that.
Yep.
The reason Roundtree is getting this shot is because Dana White is trying to avoid Magomed Ankalaev championship like the plague.
I'll tell you that DraftKings players right now know what Dana is up to because the line has moved aggressively since the last time we said we liked it.
So here.
Can I tell you what the line was and what it is now before you go
Sure.
on your tangent?
My
So
diatribe.
we had Poatan was initially minus 455 and plus Roundtree plus 350 when we first said we liked this. Poatan is at minus 520 now, and Roundtree at plus 390.
So Roundtree has knockout power, and he is a good striker. He actually has a pretty decent wrestling base. He just doesn't shoot for takedowns.
Well, it's funny is so I love Roundtree outside of this fight.
Oh, yeah, me too.
He's a tremendous finisher. You know who he reminds me of is Anthony Johnson.
Nah, he doesn't have that type of power. I know what
He
you mean.
has tremendous power.
He has killer instinct, and he has beaten exclusive kickboxers like Gokhan Saki. I get it.
But he could be a glass cannon like
His resume is just so wildly
Johnson.
thin, so it's not going to hit the mat.
Anthony Johnson was knocking out Tommy Spear. I think it's a really good parallel. But anyway,
I don't. But anyways, it's not going to hit the mat with wrestling. Poatan, literally, I don't think he understands jiu-jitsu wrestling. Like, that's just such a silly thing. And Roundtree just doesn't wrestle. So it's going to be decided standing up. And Roundtree's resume is just very thin, and he has been knocked out so many times. Poatan has been rocked. He got knocked out by Izzy. Izzy has tremendous, insane power, so that's moot. But other than him getting rocked a few times in their fights and getting knocked out in their final affair, I just don't see this being close.
we still love Poetan, but we're dying to see. So props aren't out yet. We are planning to bet pretty heavy on Poetan
Yes.
by knockout.
Yes.
And if the line doesn't make sense to us, we're probably gonna go with just the under for rounds. We'll figure out what that is.
I like for this fight.
Poetan by
I like
stoppage
the
is-
under for rounds. I like Poetan in the distance. I like Poetan by TKO. I like Poetan money line. There's every part of this fight. I like Poetan.
Yeah. So at these odds, Matt and I at minus 520.
I just don't love the money line.
Yeah,
especially when
we
I
would
know
toss him into a parlay.
he's
builder
going.
and that'd be
It's a
it.
5-round fight. Khalil Rountree, I don't believe is going to survive 5 rounds. That's how I'm betting. Because this isn't one of those fights where Poetan's going to catch him with a left hook and then jump a guillotine, where you can see that in some other fights. Poetan is going to finish him with strikes.
Yeah. Kayla Harrison, we've talked about her. She came over and made an immediate impact. She's a minus 800 favorite. We don't like it at the money line because
I was worried about her introduction to the UFC because of the weight.
135. Yeah,
she made the weight easily and then absolutely dominated Holly Holmes. This fight on paper, it looks like an easier fight than Holmes, and I have full confidence that
Dana's gearing her up for a fast track to the title. So
Yeah.
I think.
In fact, I feel like this is a step back.
Yeah.
So my money is definitely going for Kayla.
By finish. Early finish. We'll look at the lines, but if there's like a lot of times we don't pick finish by round because I feel like those are like
Those are sucker-
they're hard to find. For me, I'm gonna look at first round.
Yeah,
And
I'll see what it looks
first
like,
round
but-
stoppage is plus money, I think I'm gonna be.
And hers
tossing
could be a
some.
ground and pound TKO. She could catch her standing up. It could be a submission, but I do like Kayla all around in that fight, certainly. Who else do you like in this card for 307, Marco?
So there's a couple that I like.
You know what one I really like? Joaquin Buckley over
Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy's awesome. I love Wonder Boy. I've been a huge fan of Wonder Boy for a very, very long time. The issue is I've been a fan of his for a very, 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 very long time. Wonder Boy is a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, and his style specifically it's based on reflexes. It's a linear stance, traditional martial art, traditional karate style, where when it comes to fighting, power tends to go last.
Yeah.
Reflexes and speed go first.
I think Wonder Boy has the name, the notoriety, he has the resume, and I think he's just a little bit older. Could he win this fight? Of course.
Sure.
But I do like Buckley in this fight. Buckley is a bit up and down. I believe he'll be up in this one, so that's where my money's going.
Yeah, so for me, it's not. I'm not betting on Buckley. I'm kind of shorting Wonder Boy.
Correct. That's
late in his
exactly how
career.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I'm not.
100%.
I don't want any props on this one. I'm going money line.
No, absolutely. The last one that I think we should keep an eye on is Aldo Bautista. With Aldo is an older mixed martial artist than Thompson in terms of experience. He's been in MMA forever. However old he is, he's old beyond his years.
He's 38.
Sure.
Yeah. But he's
got
around
miles on him.
forever.
He's in this weird renaissance
Yeah.
right now, where his only recent loss is to Islam.
Yeah.
So he's been smashing dudes, whereas Bautista, his biggest win is Ricky Simone.
And again, that's a fine win. It's a name.
It's
but
a
it's
fine
not
win.
It's not Jose Aldo. Jose at plus 145. We like it.
I do.
It's like
sneaky
if
good.
dog will hunt. That's the one I think.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna PP that one or Joaquin Buckley. The two that I obviously were they're square bets, but the two that I'm definitely gonna look at obviously are Poetan and Kayla. But those two I am gonna keep an eye on. Aldo rarely gets finished, and Bautista's not a finishing machine, so I do like the over. Keep an eye on the over when those props get released.
Yep. Here's our Rob's Sucker Parlay. We got Alex Pereira minus 520 money line, Kayla Harrison minus 800 money line, Joaquin Buckley minus 198 money line, Jose Aldo plus 142 money line, Carla Esparza plus 150 money line, 5-leg parlay at a plus 1,121.
Rob, this is a plus 1,000. What's the number, Mark?
1120. So for
Plus
for,
1120.
Yep, for
Rob,
$5,
a five-leg-
$61
A
return.
5-leg sucker parlay is as suckery a parlay as they get.
Okay.
For our sports betting listeners, okay?
But outstanding. It's a great sucker bet. I'm into it.
So yeah, that's it for episode 13. What do we have on the horizon? Anything to look forward to?
Yeah, I'm super excited for UFC 307 and 308. That Jake Paul fight is coming up in the next month.
We get a ton of our own shows. We should see if how busy this guy is. See if he can come out to any of our amateur shows.
Yeah.
Got to talk to our producer, Rob, behind the scenes. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff on the horizon. But other than that, I guess we'll see you all next week.
Toe-to-toe fight show.
Still here, still fresh, baby.
Bang.